Welcome to SortaOkay Reviews, where every fandom is welcome. I'm Nathan Bedard.
I'm Brad Newton.
And today we're back to our regular scheduled program, our show.
Yep, this is the Sorta Anything show. I believe we're on episode 8 right now. We've had a few messed ups on this show, just technical editing-wise, but we're trying to get it back on track, and here we are this week with a new episode. So we always start off the show by saying what we've been up to this week. So what have you been up to? What have you been watching? What have you been playing? What have you been up to?
Well, as far as playing, not too much. Just kind of replaying Horizon Zero Dawn, pretty much. I've been playing a lot of Dokkan Battle, of course. Big Dokkan Battle fan. And we actually just got a little live stream last night. They're doing Heroes collab. And for a lot of you who don't know, Heroes is it's big in Japan. It's pretty much fan service to the max.
Of Dragon Ball.
Of Dragon Ball Z.
Like fanfics.
Yeah, like you get Golden Form Cooler, Super Saiyan 4, Gohan. And they announced that they're doing some cards, which they're doing Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, which is pretty cool. But I've been playing a lot of that still. And then, as far as, can't really do too much right now, but it seems like things are starting to look up as far as going back to doing things.
For me, playing wise, I beat Ghost of Tsushima. I actually platinum Ghost of Tsushima, so I'm really happy about that. It's actually a relatively easy platinum. If you look up a guide, the only guide I had to look up was for one trophy, literally, and everything else I got. So that was pretty cool. And then I actually bought Miles, but we'll talk about that a bit later, because something big happened this week that we'll talk about. So I've been playing that, and I beat Ghost of Tsushima. That was a big thing. I've been playing that for months now, and I got the platinum for it, so I'm happy about that. And then what have you been watching? Watching anything special? Movies, shows?
Not really. I've been really into King of Queens. The funny thing is, I remember watching that show, and I always had a crush on the girl who plays Carrie.
Leah something?
Leah
Remy, I think her name is.
But something, how when you're hanging out with friends, sometimes they'll be like, all right, besides an unattainable dream future, what would your dream future be? And I watch that show sometimes, and I'm like, you know what? I'd be happy with that.
With that life?
With that life, yeah.
The life that Doug has.
The life that Doug has. I don't know. Maybe at some part I'm like a long lost family relative of the Kevin James family.
Yeah. Cool. For me, I've been watching a few things. I've been watching Demon Slayer a little bit, getting into that. I actually I finished Blood of Zeus. It's only 8 episodes on Netflix. It's really good if you're into anything Greek mythology wise. It's super cool animated because it's got all the gods in it. It's the same animation of the people that did Castlevania. So if you like Castlevania at all, which is an amazing show, then you should watch it.
Oh my gosh, that show, I never knew anything about Castlevania, and then when I just watching that show, just of how beautiful it was done, it just made me fall in love with that show. Yeah. And I even have the pops of them now.
Yeah, so it's real good. You should check Blood of Zeus out. Like I said, it's a quick watch. It took me 2 days, 4 episodes a day. It's 8 episodes. I watched The Queen's Gambit, which is a new Netflix show. It's been number 1 for the last week. It's about this female growing up in the 50s, and she's a prodigy chess player. And it's honestly a really good show too. I got hooked into it after the first couple episodes. I finished that last night too. So it's a limited series.
It's final season. You just see the guy from Hunter x Hunter start playing chess with her.
Yeah, Miriam. Yeah, Miriam comes. So other than that, that's what I've been watching. Both pretty good shows. I'd recommend both of them. Didn't you say you were watching Jujutsu Kaisen as well? Yeah,
I've been watching that. I've been considering doing reaction videos to it, but I don't know. I'm just kind of enjoying watching it right now, because of course, that's one thing with these animes. We don't a lot of. I knew a lot of them that were in Shonen Jump, but of course, once you get to you get an anime, that's what kind of pops your series off. Because let's be honest, I'll be honest, I knew nothing about My Hero till I saw the anime. Yeah. And by then they had, I think they were already in the overhaul I think.
Yeah, but that's a very America thing, because like when the anime first came out, like no one really knew about it. Like I remember like when I got into My Hero in the first season, and I like still didn't seem like anyone was talking about it, and then it blew up.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like anime is like, regardless of whether it's bad or not, it gets you interested in the series. And I've been loving the series. Like it's got a lot of like your typical shonen stuff, like you got power up stuff, yada yada yada, but it's just fun to watch. And the studio that does it is actually going to be the studio that does the final season of Attack on Titan. And watching this now, I have very good faith in them, and I hope that they do it really well. And also too, I think it's a proven track record that if you do a like seasonal anime, which I'm certain this is, that your quality is just better, and then I think you get received well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the seasonal anime as well. But speaking of anime, manga, that leads us into our first story. You actually did a video about this, but I'll let you take this one because you know more about it than I do.
So yeah, when I was up late one night and I was doing a couple of videos for my chapter reactions, and this news has dropped out of nowhere. And pretty much, as most of you may know, the Boruto anime, or the Boruto manga, is done by two different people. Kodachi is the screenwriter. And then, can you bring up the actual, like, the person that draws it?
The artist.
But Kodachi, he is the screenwriter, so he pretty much maps out the story. Like, okay, this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen, and then the other guy draws it. Now, Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, he oversees... Ikimoto, yes. Yeah. Ikimoto is the manga for the drawing the panels. But Kishimoto pretty much oversees it. Like, he just pretty much goes and like, okay, all right, you didn't like make Naruto 6 feet tall all of a sudden. Okay, good. All right, you're good. And that's usually what it happens when they oversee something. But now, Kishimoto is back to doing the story. So that means he's going to be writing the story from now on, and he's going to be directly involved with the manga and the anime team. Now, I'm not saying he's going to have full control over the anime team, but he's directly involved now. He is one of the main people, and that's exciting because as far, like, I read the manga, and the manga has been amazing. Like, I don't care what you say. I know you can hate on Boruto because the anime has not done a great job at portraying it, but if you read the manga, it's been pretty good. And I think we're getting close to that time skip that we saw in the beginning. And I feel like Kishimoto has either a plan, or some people have been speculating that they actually did want to kill off Naruto. And I think Kishimoto was like, no, you don't kill Naruto.
Yeah, I saw a meme about that. That was like, yeah, don't kill Naruto. But yeah, it's real exciting news, as I don't know anything about Boruto. I've never watched it, never read it. But I'm a big fan of Naruto. I know Naruto's your favorite anime manga series, so it's big news for you. I'm like really excited for it because Kishimoto's one of the greats. So if you have him in control the story again, I'm really looking forward to it. It honestly made me. I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna actually start either reading or watching Naruto now. So
yeah, I think sadly the reason why this also happened is because Kodachi, I think he had a contract for like for a certain amount of chapters or whatever. But now he, like, the manga, like I said, has been doing really well. Like, it's pretty well received. So I can't see like, oh, if it was really that bad, like, then they would fire him. But it hasn't been. So and he didn't, like you said, he didn't get fired. Kishimoto decided to take over, and he stepped down. So I think it's just the fact that Kishimoto wanted to come back because his Samurai 8 manga did not do well, and he had to cut it short. And I mean, a lot of people, when they're workaholics, especially mangaka, when they work all their life, after a while they get that break, and then they want to come back. They want to do stuff. Urge, and I think, I think he sees that Boruto is it's there in his story, and he wants to make sure that it at least is going to be done correctly. Because I mean, let's be honest. After Boruto, if they decided to continue it after that, you'd be pushing it. So yeah. So you want a definitive ending. So other thing that we kind of held off on that we've been watching, both of us, is next story is, we didn't get to talk about it last week because we didn't do a show, but The Mandalorian.
So we've had 2 episodes that have happened since we last talked about it, and you want to start off with episode 2? I think it was chapter 10. The episode, the controversy that kind of came out of the episode.
So believe it or not, people got angry about something on the internet. If you watch episode 2, there's that, which I think is cute. Is Baby Yoda, he sees those eggs and oh my god, I mean he's like, I want them. It's like when we go to like a store and we're like, I want that look, and he wants to eat them, and like he ends up eating a couple of them, and I think even at the end of the episode he has like one, he had like a little
one in his pocket,
stuck away for later.
So I got that it was like a joke.
It's a joke.
It was supposed to be a comedic thing, but like the fact that the frog lady said, I'm like the last of my people, and these are like the last eggs that exist of my people. Like, people are upset because like Baby Yoda's almost committing a genocide if he eats all the eggs. But my thing is, like, the frog lady's not very smart at keeping track of her eggs, because she didn't say shit about Baby Yoda eating the eggs. I'm like, if these are the last eggs of your people, you kind of want to keep track of how many there are. And she didn't say anything or care about it, or
and that and then also too, kind of like little fruition for episode 3, these lizard people have a better love life than I'll ever have. I mean, my god, like, they could probably easily make more. And let's be honest, at the end of the day, are you kidding me? We're really getting mad about this?
Yeah.
It's Baby Yoda eating a little egg. Who cares?
Yeah, he's just a baby. It's just supposed to be the joke that babies put everything in their mouth because they don't know what anything is.
He doesn't know what he's eating. He just thinks he just looks at something yummy, and
he ate the freaking spider egg too. It's just, and then they got trapped. So yeah, let's just go through the second episode. Like, it was just kind of another side quest. He was quested to travel the eggs to this planet because he'd heard news that there were some Mandalorians there. Mm-hmm. He's still trying to find Mandalorians to eventually find the Jedi to get Baby Yoda back to the Jedi. So that's what he was trying to do. So in the second episode, he couldn't go into hyperspace and they had to travel. And then I thought it was a really cool scene, like when the X-Wing people come to him, and then like he's trying to like talk his way out of it. And then as soon as you see the X-Wings open up, like shit's about to go down. He's like, he turns around and like he sees the X-Wing open over here, and he looks over and it opens over here, and he's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was a really good side episode. And this is the thing, like, everyone was complaining about the first episode. Why are we back in Tatooine? Why do we okay, we went to a different planet.
Just to tease the Boba Fett.
Yeah. We went to a different planet. We got something new. It was great. But, like, so it's like, what are you going to complain about that? And we got, like, some unique characters. And it was just a really good episode. Like, it was fun.
Yeah. And then, that episode 2 it ended with, like, the New Republic letting him go. They're like, you should be arrested, but we're still kind of in the rebuilding phase of the Republic at the moment. Yeah. Like, they're still trying to figure things out because the Empire still just fell. So,
and they've seen a lot of the stuff that he's like. They have reports of him helping a lot of people, and they're like, okay, like by law standards, it's like, oh, if you jaywalk, but it was to help an old lady, it's like, okay, yeah, you technically broke the law, but it was for
your good has outweighed your
bad.
Evil. But they did call back to like the different episodes of season 1 too, when they read off his crimes and what he's done to help people too. Like the Prison Break episode was what he was crying for, but at the same time he's been helping people. So yeah, that was a good one. And then we move on to episode 3, which this one was like a bigger, I think, to like the whole overarching show.
This episode was amazing. Like I said, starting off, those lizards, they
love each other.
They love each other. It's great, cool.
Him landing the ship was pretty great too. Like, he was like, they're like, slow down, and he stopped right at the last second. He's like, made it straight into the water.
Yeah. And his ship has seen better days. I mean, I hope
the Razor Crest.
Hopefully he's got Jake at State Farm right there on the helm, like, to fix up his ship. But
it seems like he can fix his own ship no matter what state it's in, as long as he has the parts. Because back in the first season, like the Jawa stripped that thing of everything, and he got all the parts back and rebuilt it. So it seems like it can be rebuilt. He knows how to fix it all. So
I feel like soon we're gonna get a new ship, though.
I don't know. I like the Razor Crest, but
I do too. But I feel like either we're gonna get a new ship or they're really gonna upgrade a ship.
Mm-hmm. So then, we start this episode off with like the Mon Calamari, the Admiral Akbar, and then the octopus, Davy Jones looking people are all there, and then he goes on like a pirate ship, and he's like, "Yeah, we know where some Mandalorians are. We'll lead you there." And he leads them. They lead them, and they're like, "Oh, look!" They lower a trap for Baby Yoda, and they're like, "Look, let's show the kid." And he's like, "We're gonna show how we feed this person." And then they knock freaking Baby Yoda into the trap. Baby Yoda's smart though. He turtles up in that pod anytime he knows he's in danger.
He was like, "Oh shit, boom,"
and turtled up in that pod.
But like, bad on Mando for like, hey, let me show you this feeding of this dangerous animal. Let your kid get close. Like, no, I don't know these people. Like, no, he's fine where he's at. And then Mando jumps in, like good dad though, jumps in.
But then they trap him in a cage, and then they're stabbing him and stabbing him. And then one of the coolest scenes in frickin' The Mandalorian so far, we got frickin' the ex-Death Watch people coming in from the Clone Wars and Rebels. So I like how this season they're building the universe. Like this is Star Wars. Like they're pulling in the stuff from other shows and canon and stuff, and they roll up, and then they've even got the yellow blasters too, like in the Clone Wars, and then like the army and stuff. It was pretty great. And then they come and just wreck house.
Oh yeah, no, like I think we forget about it. Like the Mando, like he has been really like he's shown his stuff. Like he took down that dragon from and Tatooine. He's taken on many troopers, all this stuff. But when you see them come in and they wreck these guys, and then like the child, like he's like the child. She just died. Like he was trying to save the child, but he was having a hard time. She dives in. You hear boom, 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 gets him, and then like, oh my gosh, like she had no problem. She just dove in there, killed that animal, boom, got Baby Yoda back, and it's like, all right, what's next?
Yeah. So, they reveal themselves and they take out their helmets, and he's like, this was something that's been bothering me for a long time too. How like they say that the Mandalorians can't take off their helmets and stuff, and then they take off their helmets, and he's like, "You're not Mandalorian," and then they're like, "Oh, he's one of those guys."
Yeah, it's like a pretty much like a. Like you have different tribes, pretty much. Like there's some people that believe in these, because different religions.
The Mandalorian technically wasn't born on Mandalore. He was saved by the Mandalorians during the Clone Wars, and that's why he didn't like droids, because the droids killed his parents during the Clone Wars.
Yeah, and he goes by their Kree pretty much.
So they're like a religious cult that says that they can't take off their helmets, because we've seen in the Clone Wars, we've actually seen this character before. I forget what her name is, but anyway, we've seen the leader lady. She was in the Clone Wars. She was the right-hand woman of the Death Watch guy that Maul ends up killing. So sorry, spoilers for the Clone Wars, and then she was also in an episode of Rebels too, which I didn't actually watch Rebels, but she was in Rebels too.
Well, yeah, it's really cool that because see, that you do have people that are actually Mandalorian, like their blood is actually Mandalorian, but Mandalorian are kind of like a Kree, because like Maul proved it in thing, like you can go if you challenge the leader of Mandalore and you win, you become the leader of Mandalore. So it's almost like it's a religion, a lifestyle, a Kree, more than a bloodline.
The Mandalorian himself is part of like a different branch of this religion. That their group is like, they call them like the other Mandalorians, like Death Watch people, former Death Watch people, thought that they were kind of weird. They're like, but they're like the Mandalorians that don't take off their helmets, because that's what their creed is. They believe.
It's pretty cool too. Like the guy's like, "You killed my brother." Like, your brother tried to kill me. You, by the way. And then the other Mandalorians come back and pretty much destroy. It's like
they're like, "No, we did," or "No, I did."
I killed your brother. You want to talk to me? And they're like, "Yeah, boom." No, like you didn't have a chance.
Shout out to Sasha Banks, by the way, too. Sasha Banks was one of the Mandalorians in there. But yeah, so the rest of the episode is they take over a ship, and then it's like a real cool action sequence. They take the ship, and we get Giancarlo Esposito back, and then they got some like, I assume like he's just running like a portion of the Empire. He's like one of the warlords after the Empire fell, and he just runs a big section of it now, trying to take back over. So he's got some Nazi shit going on though, because like the dude like took some cyanide pill, like electrocuted his face off and killed himself before they like made him talk and tell him where he was.
Yeah, it was one thing too. I love like when they show up, the Mandalorians show up. The music that they play for that is so cool. I love it's like a techno mixed with a little bit of the Mandalorian style. Like it's really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really digging that. And then yeah, so he's got the Darksaber. And then the episode ends. He gets he helps him take the ship, and then they offer him, they're like, "Hey, you're Mandalorian. Do you want to help? We want to take our planet back. We want to take Mandalore back. Do you want to come with us?" And he's like, "No, I have a mission right now. My mission is to bring the child back to his people." So then she's like, "Okay," and she gives him the information. She says, "Go here to meet Ahsoka Tano."
Right there.
And I'm like, oh god.
Right there. Well, okay, see, we knew she was gonna we've heard that speculation. Rosie O'Donnell was cast to be
Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson was cast to be Ahsoka Tano in season 2 of The Mandalore. But now just hearing her name was awesome. But I will admit, why couldn't Disney keep that a little bit tighter wraps? Like if I would have been watching this episode and I would have heard her say Ahsoka Tano, I would have lost my shit.
Same thing with Boba Fett, too. Boba Fett was kind of spoiled beforehand, too. Like they said, he's going to be in season 2 of The Mandalorian.
I heard that, but that was more of a speculation. Like, there was no actual, real proof of that. So, but when we actually saw it, that one was a little bit more impactful, where I felt like the Ahsoka thing was actually a little bit more, had a little bit more merit to it.
Well, I think the Ahsoka thing, we're all kind of just expecting it to happen now because we heard about it. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. If they would have kept that a secret and then, they said Ahsoka, we would have been like, oh shit. It was a real big moment, though. I'm still looking forward to Ahsoka being in, them building off the universe. Because you could tell, in the first season of The Mandalorian, they were trying to build The Mandalorian. This is Star Wars, but we want to kind of make our own lore, our own, piece of the universe. Now, after season 1, we're like, okay, let's open this up to the whole Star Wars universe and half the popularity of it. Let's bring in these people from Rebels, from Clone Wars, and maybe even it'd be cool if we end up seeing people from Jedi Fallen Order or something. Which
I like. They're one of the most popular things in Star Wars was the Clone Wars. People love the Clone Wars, so they're taking stuff from the Clone Wars and putting it in, which I really really like. And a big thing you brought up, we all figured that okay. Mandalorian, it seems like the end point was to bring the child back to its people or the Jedi, but now that could almost be turned into a side plot because now we've got he can go meet Ahsoka Tano and they could have a mission for that, but also too the end goal could be him returning to Mandalore to help them claim Mandalore back.
Because I think they did the fall of Mandalore and the Clone Wars in the last season. I'm pretty sure. I actually didn't finish the last season. I need to go back to and finish it, but I'm pretty sure they did the actual fall, and the Empire taking over Mandalore and the Clone Wars. So, yeah. So that's pretty good for the Mandalorian. Hopefully we get Ahsoka next week. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm so excited for that. I'll have to watch immediately because I don't want to get spoiled.
So speaking of some good Disney Plus action, we do have confirmation for some Marvel news. Finally, it's been so long since we've heard anything about Marvel, but I believe in January we are getting WandaVision. I believe it's January 14th or 15th, whatever the Friday is.
It kind of also to include them a great thing about was with this of WandaVision coming out in January. When we first got the first season of The Mandalorian, Mandalorian came out. Then after that, we really didn't have much. Yes, you had Hamilton and stuff like that, but as far as the show, content, continuously every week, we really had nothing. Now, pretty much we're going to have The Mandalorian Season 2, and then once that's over, we're going to lead right up into WandaVision. And then 2, this is great. My gosh, we haven't had anything Marvel in a year.
Yeah, so I read an article that this is 2020 is going to be the first year with no Marvel content since 2007. No movie, no show, no nothing of anything MCU, which is crazy. And it's the last 12 years.
They're ramping up though, because you've got Spider-Man 3 in production. You've got I think Thor: Love and Thunder is about to get into production soon.
And then James Gunn tweeted that the script for Guardians 3 is done.
You have Falcon and Winter Soldier still filming. You're starting to get a lot of casting news for the shows of Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, I think She-Hulk. So we're getting a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping from not just the Marvel perspective, but from a movie perspective, we kind of just get everything at like people are gonna be trying to carve out their own little slots. I think next year. I think once everything's normal towards the end of 2021, I think we're just gonna get content like because all the movies that were supposed to come out in 2020 got delayed, all the big ones. So we're gonna get all those release dates, and then we're gonna get all the movies that are supposed to come out in 2021. First half of that, they're still making stuff. So I'm hoping it gets to a point in like 2021, 2022 where there's just every week movie after movie after movie we gotta go see. Like try to catch up in the movie theaters of everything.
Yeah, and like the thing about the movie theater, like let's be honest too, Disney kind of came out and said that they're gonna be focusing on their streaming. So while I really feel like Mulan was a very poor choice for their first streaming
to test what they're going to do. So if you don't know, Mulan was available for I think it was $30 to rent on Disney Plus, and so that was kind of their litmus test to see if they wanted to release more movies like that. And Mulan didn't do very well.
Yeah, a lot of people were already hesitant on that movie just because like they didn't include a lot of stuff from the original, and it just like it was. I think it was a very poor choice. Where I feel like Black Widow, yes, people are really wanting that movie. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not gonna be popular. But was it going to really be your $1 billion movie? I don't think so. Now, was it going to be a high-grossing movie? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But I think you would have had a lot of people... I would have immediately... If I saw Black Widow on my TV right now, able to purchase for $40, $40, I would immediately buy it.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch it.
And some Marvel content.
Yeah, it's Marvel content. And then honestly, too, if you wanted to release it in theaters, maybe and then in a couple months, like, hey, we're going to release it in theaters. Come watch it in theaters. I'd still probably go watch it because I'd be like, okay, let me see what this looks like.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of the state of movies, we're kind of hoping that Wonder Woman doesn't get delayed again. I'm kind of hoping movie theaters, or at least Regal, because Regal is our local theater, opens back up for Christmas. Because it closed back down again, all the Regal theaters. So we're just kind of hoping that Wonder Woman and all the movies that are supposed to come around Christmas are opening back up.
Yeah, so two quick things that we'll kind of implement with this. As some of you may or may not know, as of today, now there are reportedly 2 COVID vaccines that have a 90% effective rate.
Yeah.
Which is great news because it was great news for the economy because we saw stocks shoot up that day. Because the thing is like, if you have a vaccine and that's the thing too, these 2 companies that have the vaccines are very reputable they're huge companies. They're not you're running mom and pop shop. They're huge companies. Mm-hmm. So if we get a vaccine and like even if it's not going to be here tomorrow or the next month, if there's some news of it coming out, I think that will make a lot more people less afraid to go out because then they'll be like, okay, hey, let's go to the movies. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, well, if I'm attracted, there's a vaccine, I'll be fine. And that's the biggest thing. Because then if you can just go to the hospital, boom, get the vaccine, and you're good, that really eliminates a lot of the fear of going to these close quarters. And then, too, as theaters, you can maybe lighten up the restrictions.
Yeah, we're still months away from it, though. Yeah, it's not like next month, okay, here's the vaccine. It's going to be a while.
But it's good news, at least.
Yeah, it's good news, yeah. So, it's, some bright news coming up. Our last news story of the week is the next generation of gaming happened this week. Unfortunately, not for us, because neither one of us have a new console, but I'm kind of waiting. Just if PS5 was like easy to get, like if I could go to Walmart, GameStop right now and go pick one up, I probably would. But just because it's so hard to every site like I've looked at, because I kind of dabbled in it just to see like when the times it was supposed to go up on Walmart, like they had intervals of times. The PS5, I'm specifically for me trying to look up. It was just the site crashed, out of stock. So,
and that's the thing too. I feel like. Yes, I think Sony, at the end of the day, Sony telling us that, oh, we're going to have plenty of stock, don't worry. I think that falls a little bit on them.
I think it was also them overestimating what they could do, or underestimating the demand and overestimating what they could produce.
Exactly.
In this COVID time.
But being honest with you, at the end of the day, who's really to blame? Mm-hmm. The people. Like, with the reason why this is because people are trying to resell this thing. like for crazy amounts of money, and it's just
it retails for $499.99, and they I've seen eBay up to 1,500 to 2,000 people trying to sell it.
Now, where Sony could start, if they really wanted to help, they could start working with eBay and these places to either put a whole, like, hey, if you see a console above this threshold for a price, terminate it. Because then because the thing is, sadly, you have people dumb enough to buy these consoles for $2,000. Like, I'm sorry, it's not worth it. You could go get a PC twice as powerful as a PlayStation for $2,000, and you can get more out of that PC than what you could for a PlayStation. Do not buy this thing for $2,000, $1,500, even a thousand, even just 800 almost.
Just wait for it to be like, you don't need it that bad. Like, honestly, do I want the PS5? Yeah, but
I got to play it.
Unless your livelihood depends on it. Like, unless you're like a gaming person. But honestly, if you're a gaming person, you're probably on top of it enough to get one. Like
that, and then if you're making that much of an income from this, then let's be honest, you probably got sent one.
You probably got sent one, or you know enough people in the community to get one.
But you see so many people just hopping out because like, oh, cool. I got one. But I can buy 2 more, or I could buy another one, and then I could sell it and, make twice my profit, or 3 times, 4 times.
Yeah,
and
I literally know somebody at my job that was like, oh yeah, I got a PS5, I'm gonna go sell it for $1,000 now. I'm like, well, you can probably get it, but
And that's the problem, is people are actually buying it. Like, if you would stop buying it, like, just hold out for a month or 2. Yeah. And then if these people that are going to be holding on to these systems for this long, they'll start to be like, crap, I just spent $1,500 buying 3 PlayStation 5s.
Yeah.
I got to get this money back. Lower the price, and then eventually it'll start, building back up, and the stock won't go as quick. But
yeah. But as far as, the consoles go, I haven't, you said you got to play the PS5. I haven't yet. I hear the DualSense is really cool. I just know from other people's reviews.
I will say the PlayStation 5, the controller itself is like a really big thing. Like, I like feeling it. It was so nice. I think they really upgraded the controller. But as far as playing it, I played 2K21. This was just a coworker that he got it, and we set it up at work, and we decided to play it for a little bit. But I played 2K21, and I'll admit, it's super smooth. It's really nice. It makes it a lot, because it's quick. Yeah. So the whole like popping in a game, waiting for it to load. It's kind of more now, boom, play a game, get into it. But I'll be honest with you, it was great, but it wasn't anything too revolutionary. Like, if you really have like a crazy PC, you're kind of playing it already.
Well, yeah, from what I've seen people talk about it, Kind of Funny was like, yeah, it's an improvement on the PS4 Pro. It's, this next step up. It's not like you're going into, a virtual reality space where, like, some Dragon Quest stuff, if you watch that movie, happens where you like live inside this universe. But it's not like that. It's, it's an upgrade from the PS4. That's what it feels like. That's what it is. If you don't need to upgrade right now, honestly, you don't need to upgrade it right now. So don't worry if you can't get one right now. I'm a pretty big gamer, and I'm not really worried about it. Like, as soon as they become easy to get, I'll get one.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, I've heard Sony say that they're not going to sell anymore till Black Friday. Yeah. So try to wait till then.
Yeah, if you can't get one then, like, honestly, you could wait a few months. It's not going to kill you.
Yeah, and like, my last thing is, like, right now Miles is out. That's the game that I want to play most. Yeah. If I really want to, I can go out and get it on PS4. Yeah. And I can play it on PS5 later. But I could play the story. The story's not going to be any different. Maybe some of the gameplay, like the fluidity of it and all that, might be a little different. Yeah. But the initial experience is going to be the same.
So yeah, I bought Miles, but I've played about an hour into it. It's more Spider-Man. It's really good. It's more Miles. I would recommend playing the first one first if you haven't played it to get the story, because Miles' story is kind of introduced in there. And it's really good so far. I'm only, like I said, an hour and a half in. Yeah, another thing I want to talk about with Miles is the PlayStation has a new system. Like, they have dynamic mode and they have performance mode. So you could play it to the point where Miles looks really good and you see all the reflections and like the ray tracing stuff, or you could play it like in 60 FPS. So Miles would be the type of game to me that I'd probably want to play like with the best graphics. But if you're playing like multiplayer, or like COD or something, you probably want to play with like 60 frames a second. So it just honestly depends on what game you're playing.
And then too, a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of people, your TV probably is not going to be able to even produce what the PlayStation can really do, because you have to have a TV that has a USB, a HDMI 2.0.
Yeah, so you got to have like a 4, like probably like an OLED or better TV.
You just you have to have a 4K TV, kind of common sense, but it has to be of a higher quality. Like I said, it just has to have that HDMI 2.0 in order to get that like real high quality. So
there's guides online. If you really care, you could look it up.
Yeah, look up. So if you're really wanting to get that full experience, then you're gonna have to start looking for a TV too. But honestly, like if you don't have that TV and you just plug it in and start playing, honestly, if you had a PS4 Pro, it probably would not be that much different.
It's definitely going to be better.
It's going to be better, but I mean, to blow you away, to justify the prices that people are selling it at, it's not there.
Yeah, but it's still good.
It's good. Still no. Like I said, we want one. We do want one, but
ray tracing.
It blows my mind that these people are
paying that much for it.
Like why? Like and then too, it's just sad the fact that like there's a lot of us that want to play these systems. We want to get these systems and play them, and we can't because literally people want to buy them all up. I know, like, it's fair. I've resold stuff before, but it's just not, and it's like getting to the extent like, man, it just seems like the same people just buying the systems up and then reselling them.
Yeah. But yeah, with that, I think that's going to do it for the end of the show. Unless you have anything you want to add this week?
No, I think a lot of stuff's coming up. We have the holidays coming up, so expect a lot of videos. I have some things planned, so get excited about that. But make sure you like and comment so you get notified and hit the notification bell so you can get notified when our videos are up.
Yeah, what do you guys think of Mandalorian? What do you guys think of Disney Plus? Anything we talked about, any of the topics. Do you have PS5? How is it for you? If you would, just let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, and if you have a horror story about PlayStation 5 and the day of launch and all that, definitely let us know. I want to read those.
And we'll read it on the show next week, too.
Yeah, we'll read it on the show. If you have any good stories on there, let us down below, and we'll put you on the show.
Again, so thank you guys so much for watching.
And have a great day. Catch you guys later. Bye.